2 years later, the decision to destroy history still saddens me, but progress still continues here at the Dunmore number 7 Reservoir. And I also have some brand new information to share with you as well. So if you're ready, all you need to do is come along with me. Now, many of you already are really familiar with this place. I've been covering it ever since this whole project started, when it was a beautiful location. And 2023, work started and transformed it forever. So I've been coming back twice a year to give you updates. And I'm back once again here in November 2025 to share the latest. Now, from what I can tell, first glance, this lake area has not been dredged yet. There's still some timber sticking out of the water. I do see some shallow parts of the sediment underneath, so it looks like it's not been dredged out yet. That might be the final step before completion. But some things have definitely changed. Right in front of us here, the spillway has received some significant work and upgrades. They reinforced the steps going down there. New curvature over the top here, a new top lip, and like a little collection basin right down there as well. So this is all brand new. That hasn't been done since we were here last time in May. And of course, the massive stone buildings are gone. Just one lone building remains today. And again, it's a sad sight because those buildings were one of a kind. They stood out amongst any other reservoir I've seen, and they were beautiful in their own right, especially given the fact they were nearly 150 years old. We're here on a Sunday, so there's no work going on today. But aside from viewing it from here, we're also going to get a bird's eye view as well. It looks like this was finished within the last couple of months. This wasn't like this in May, so between May and November, this work was completed. So it's still retaining its original design, and the original structure for the most part is still here, but it definitely upgraded it, reinforced it. That area there, though, has always kind of conflicted me with its use. It's like a secondary spillway where water goes over into that little channel area and then spills over. So I don't know if that's to slow the water down, if it was to get higher and flow over faster. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Could be like an overflow area. But we do see a number of different valves down here. They're painted red. There's 2 there, 2 down there. And they still have a camera monitoring the site. You can also see in the water, which you'll see better from the sky, there is like a pad underwater. It's where I believe a structure used to be, or a pump house back in the day. One of many, because again, if there was one there, which I don't remember, there was numerous structures back here, castle-like structures. But each of my recent visits, though, this has been for the most part filled with water, but it's not at capacity. Water's not flowing over the spillway. It is being diverted through the pipe system, coming out further downstream. Now in 2024, this location and project became controversial. There's a lot of controversy surrounding it because of an incident that happened that involved an investigation. So some of my earlier visits, we've seen this drain down really low to the point that there is a small portion of water, and you can see the large buildup of sediment that has built up over time, over years and decades probably. And they had water diverting down through the pipe system. Well, that particular time frame during last year, we received some significant rainfall, and with that sediment exposed, that rainfall loosened it, broke it up, sent that sediment down through the pipe system downstream, basically polluting at least a mile or 2 downstream, resulting in areas that were, the water is being diverted to areas it's not supposed to be. The water levels have changed from deeper to shallower. Some areas were so bad they couldn't even stock trout for the first day of trout because conditions were so poor from all the sediment that went down. And it went unnoticed for a few days until residents started noticing, hey, something doesn't look right. The water's really cloudy and brown and it's flowing in areas it shouldn't be. So an investigation began, and they realized that a significant amount of sediment left the reservoir area through the pipe system and whatever type of catch barrier they had, I guess, failed, and the sediment went down and wreaked havoc for a number of weeks, if not months. And even up until this year, 2025, there is some reclamation work being done closer to Naog Park, I believe, on the backside of it, where the sediment has affected the water area. They had to go back there, put in some big, giant stones to prevent erosion and put the normal flow of water back where it's supposed to be, just make it how it once was from that damage. So from that time frame, this place has been monitored by DEP and also the American Water Company. But we do have some new information to share with you about what this project does entail for the remainder of time. Now, when I first started documenting this project and noticed that the body of water was drained, a lot of initial thoughts, including myself, is that they were going to decommission this, abandon it, take away the spillway, turn it into more of like a nature preserve, let nature reclaim this area. But as we did learn, that was not the case. This is part of a multi-dam, multi-reservoir project to basically rehabilitate and update the infrastructure to ensure longevity for decades, if not centuries to come. Now, I did find an article that came out earlier this year to basically give us an update on this project, which does touch base on the sediment, as you could say, controversy that we talked about just a few moments ago. So it states that monitoring for additional sediment is ongoing at the site while work progresses at the number 7 Reservoir Dam, and that monitoring will continue twice a year after the remediation measures are completed. So this is going to be monitored for a good amount of time to make sure nothing negative happens like it did. This is a $17 million dam rehabilitation project that began in October 2023 to upgrade the 153-year-old dam structure for stability and to help ensure its compliance with DEP dam safety regulations. And it says the company expects to complete the number 7 Reservoir Dam project mid-2026. So that's roughly 6 to 8 months away from completion, as long as there's no delays or any issues that do suddenly arise. I don't know if that sediment controversy pushed back the progress or not, or if it's just like a little bump in the road. But again, progress is continuing. There's not a whole lot that has to be done still from what I could tell. I think this still has to be dredged. As far as I know, it's not dredged. It looks the same as I've always seen it, especially with the logs sticking out and seeing that I could see some sediment below the water. And I don't know if they're going to build another pump or valve house, being that they took away all those other buildings. The only thing that's left is that little stone building, which I don't know what they could use that for, or maybe it's just to kind of remember what used to be here. And there's also a larger, more modern building down there. So there may or may not be a structure built. There's still enough time to do that, but maybe they're nearing the end and they're just going to kind of finish off the area. But we're going to find out in about 6 months. I'm going to come back here in May for another update. But right now, since skies are lightening up a little bit, let's get a bird's eye view. All right, we are airborne. All right, we're going to start off taking a look at the reservoir area. Not the best lighting conditions by any means, but this is the time of year and it's often cloudy and gloomy. Thankfully, it's not windy or rainy at the moment, so we're just going to make do with what we have. So, heading towards the back, I see a lot of exposed areas, which normally, if this was dredged out, we wouldn't see that, obviously. They're more or less islands now, but at one time I was able to ride my bike out there and explore because the water levels were so low. There's basically just a little creek flowing through because the water is continuously being emptied out of the reservoir. So you can see a lot of people do go back there. Tire tracks. There's a pipe system on the left. We've seen that before. And if we rise up and take a look back, we do have the abandoned Jessup viaduct right there. Looking downwards, we can see the water is pretty shallow. A few feet at the most, at least back here. And as we head back towards the middle of the lake, we'll see it does get darker and deeper, but I don't know what the normal depth would be. Now, this dam height, I believe, is 45 feet. And that would be 45 feet in front of it, and I would assume behind it as well. So it can be potentially up to 45 feet deep. And right there, it's the middle of the lake, we could see a lot of sediment. It's not dredged at all, so we have solid confirmation of that. So I guess at normal capacity, it'd be roughly 45 feet deep if they do have it dredged all the way down to the base or bottom of the spillway, which they may or may not do that. It may affect the structural integrity if they have it fully exposed with water on the backside of it, but that's the potential anyways. Yeah, it's not deep by any means. We could see sediment throughout the whole thing here. And there's that pad underwater, which I believe some type of structure was there at one time. You can see how bright and clean the concrete looks too with the new work that was done. Here's a few additional details. This dam was constructed in 1872. The dam height is 45 feet. The dam length is 340 feet. And it has a storage area of 570 acres. Camera's right there on the post on the corner of that wall. Someone riding over on the other side too. There's a hose coming down. Is that from that building? Possibly. Oh, you know what? The top of that building's open. We could look inside of it. That's never been exposed like that. So there's a big valve or pipe in front of it. And remember, we saw that slanted area of concrete, those big bolts there. That's the only thing we ever knew. It looked like a hatch. So behind that is a pipe. Okay, we can actually look inside. Oh, there's a big handle, almost like a ship's wheel. How about that? That is pretty cool. It's almost like a pirate ship's steering wheel. So that's a valve house. That's all that is. And I wonder if they're going to utilize it for the new updates. Makes you wonder. They haven't removed that building. It's the only remaining structure from the original stone structures from 1872. So that's kind of neat. Get to see a glimpse on the inside. It is fenced off, obviously. So there's that newer building I was talking about. Although it's been here for decades, it's more modern. And I believe it had like a type of crane system for bringing pipes in and out of it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though. But that looks like what that door is for on top. See the office trailer in the background there. Remember last time too, this area up here behind this wall, right where we're focusing in the middle of the screen, was exposed and excavated out. So this was opened up quite a bit. And now it's filled back in with a new hatch right there. And looks like possibly a builder's plate. Let's see if we can get down closer and zoom in on that. Yeah, SG&W, Scranton Gas and Water Company, 1872. J.H. Scranton, is that president maybe? And then directors. So there's that little collection area, which I'm unsure of its use. And then we do have the brand new lip on the spillway. I wonder if they put any mortar in the wall section here, possibly. I don't know if that looks newer or original. Very similar to the step falls that we've documented below Nayak Park, but these are not as steep. So coming around this corner here, we could see just below us that brand new concrete work. Bird's eye view got cut short. I clipped a tree branch just below me. It snapped off one of the blades and I had to go down in the trees here to get it. I thought I had replacement blades with me. I guess I don't. I guess they're at home. So had to cut that short, but I think we got what we need. From what we saw though, like some things have changed, some have not. The biggest, most evident thing is the new updated lip here for the spillway. Some new concrete work down here along the corner. They filled in that area behind the wall where the builder's plate is. And they're working on that little stone structure with that giant ship's wheel inside of it for the valve. So I'm curious what it's going to look like in another 6 months, which means obviously I will be back May 2026, which should be near time of completion of this project. They are anticipating middle of 2026, and that'll be just a month or two away from that happening. If you do have any additional details you'd like to share, leave them down below. But I think no matter how many times I come here, I'm not going to not miss the sight of those original structures. I still think they could have kept them and just updated the internals, the valves, the equipment, and still have an older looking original structure with modern day equipment inside. I'm sure there are reasons that we don't know why they tore them down, but regardless, once again, I'm thankful I documented it over the years as well as many other people. And it's a place I always come and enjoy coming here for because it's just relaxing, it's peaceful. Yes, nice views, and normally when the water is flowing over the spillway, you got the nice ambient noise of the rushing water. With all that being said, hope you enjoyed the most recent update here. We learned a few new things, learned that we're in the home stretch of the project, and I'm curious what it's gonna be like in 6 months. So I'll see you right back here, May 2026. Thanks for watching everyone, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.